What's going on, everyone? Let's talk about the Lakers. They did what they were supposed to do going into the All-Star break. They got a ton of momentum, have won 6 out of 7 games in the month of February. That is massive. Their one loss coming to the Denver Nuggets, who really got to beat them, right? It frustrates me because every time we play them, we lose the exact same way. Like, exact same way, right? They get to a lead, we're playing catch up, we finally catch up, and then they just pull away. So, got to work on that. But they did what they needed to do. They've won 11 out of the last 16 also, and that's kind of the pace in which the Lakers are going to have to continue to play at if they want to get that 6th seed. I think they're probably going to have to win around 45 games, which means they need 15 more wins out of their next 26 games going into the season. The month of February is very winnable. I mean, seriously, you have the Warriors in Golden State. That's our first game back from break. They've been playing very well, but we are a bad matchup for them. So I do believe the Lakers can get that win. Then you follow that up with the Spurs. Then you got the Phoenix Suns, who we've beaten, 3 out of 4 times. So you can easily get that win. Not easily, but you can get that win. Then you follow that up with the Clippers. That one's going to be tough because we've beaten them twice. They've been the hottest team in the league. But again, team that we've beaten twice already. Can we do it again? I believe we can. And then the Washington Wizards to close out. You got to at least win the Spurs and the Wizards game, bare minimum. And then, in my opinion, you got to win at least 2 out of those 3 against the Warriors, the Suns, and the Clippers. If you do that, I think the Lakers will be in really good shape, right? They're 30 wins, 30-26 with 4 games over 500 for the first time since the in-season tournament, which is great. We've seen what this team can do. And that's what is so frustrating, right? I said it all year. Get to the postseason, get to the playoffs. I'll take my chances with this team. I will. Healthy LeBron, healthy AD. There's no one in the entire league is wide open. The Boston Celtics have been the best team for the most part this season, but they love to just kind of shoot themselves in the foot a little bit, right? I mean, you saw it in the game against us where, we didn't have LeBron, we didn't have AD. That should have been an easy blowout, and they just kept letting us in it, letting us pull away. Thought, we'll just turn on the Jets and we'll beat them. And they never were able to. Lakers were able to keep it ahead. And so even them, I'm not really worried about. The only team that worries me is Denver. And it's just because it's not that we lose to them, right? Because, it happens. The regular season and the postseason are 2 very different things. And even last year, there's a lot of circumstances that go into that, right? Talking about one-legged, needing surgery LeBron James, one-legged Anthony Davis, and a one-legged D'Angelo Russell. And we still got to the conference finals. I'll take my chances if we get to the playoffs. But it's the way in which we lose to them that concerns me, right? It's the same way every time. And that's concerning. But the Lakers really have built this momentum. And there's 2 ways you can look at it when you're talking about this break, right? We don't play again until the 22nd. In a lot of ways, this is great. Right? The one way to look at it, which I kind of look at it, I'm kind of in the middle on both. I have concerns, but I also have, I think the Lakers need this, right? Everyone gets to rest their body, rest their minds. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they get a little break. Yeah, they're going to be in the All-Star game, but this isn't like the late 90s, early 2000s All-Star game where teams it's like a game 7 of a finals or something, right? These guys are just out there playing. So not really worried about them. They'll be able to just kind of have fun, take a breath, get their body right, get their minds right, get much needed rest. Because both of them, knock on wood, have been extremely healthy this year. We're going to need them to continue that going into the second half of the season or the back half of the season. And then, the rest of the team, right? They get to kind of regroup. Spencer Dinwiddie, who I've loved these 2 games. You've kind of seen all the signs with him, right? Everything you kind of want to see, his ability to run an offense, right? Which I think is going to be his biggest just beneficiary for the Lakers. His ability to make plays, especially off the bench. The Lakers have lacked that all season. Even if Gabe Vincent was healthy, he's not really a playmaker. He's more of like a George Hill, an Avery Bradley type. More 3-and-D, can initiate the offense, can kind of orchestrate, but he's actually best off-ball playing defense. Now you got a legit playmaker, a guy that can run an offense in a starting unit or a bench unit, and just really catapult. You've also seen his ability to knock down the 3, off the dribble, catch and shoot. You've seen his ability to get into the lane, pull up mid-range, create contact, finish through said contact. All of those things are very important for this guy. And look, I'm not saying Spencer Dinwiddie makes the Lakers the best team in the league, but he's just another key to the cog of guys that allow you every night to have that other third option, right? So D'Lo has been far and away our most consistent third option all season, but he's had bad games, right? And there's been games where Reeves is really good. And there's games where Austin Reeves has been much more consistent. And I think that that's also part of the reason we've had this stretch, because Reeves is he's been more efficient, more effective. You see his three-point percentage starting to climb. He's hitting threes, shooting with more confidence, just playing better. But he's been very inconsistent for the most part this season. We really need him to shift back into that consistency role, right? Because if you have him, you have D'Lo, and you have Spencer Dinwiddie, now you have three guys that on any given night can be the third guy or the fourth guy. And if all three are clicking, you're probably never losing a game, right? I'm not saying that all three are going to get 20 every game, but it just, again, gives you that other guy, three skill guards that can all make plays. Spencer Dinwiddie gives you some defense, get you some athleticism out there. It's really good. And the Lakers get to use this time to kind of, integrate him into the system, kind of let him get familiar, watch tape, see how things are operating with the Lakers, right? How they're running their offense, how they're running their sets. You see in these last two games, he's just kind of been out there, right? He's just kind of floating around, not really being aggressive, not really in the actions. A lot of times they're just completely looking him off entirely. I expect them to kind of get him back in a rhythm, get him back into a groove, tell him we need you to be more aggressive as he gets comfortable. It'll take time, but he'll get there, right? So there's a lot of benefits to this. The injuries, right? You're talking 4 of our 5 best defensive guys, and Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and Max Christie. Right? It looks like we're going to get some of them back post All-Star break. The others are going to get reevaluated. I'll probably do a full video breaking down the updates and information on that. Maybe I'll post that tomorrow. But the point is that they get to get right. They get to get their body right while we're not playing games to where it's like they're missing out on action. It just gives them more games whenever they inevitably return. Hopefully they return, especially in Vanderbilt's case. We're still not out of the woods yet with him. We'll see. Time will tell. There's a lot of really good positives with this rest. The other side of the coin, though, is we have all this momentum, and that momentum just got halted, right? And now we got to go from being one of the hottest teams in the league the last month to boom, now we're cold. Nobody's really getting game action. You can't replicate a game, right? It doesn't matter how many times you scrimmage, how many times you practice. There's no replication of actual game play. So you get into the return of action. How do the Lakers look, right? I do like that there's the Spurs game in between, right? Because I like that the two games coming back are very winnable games for the Lakers. Warriors, it's a matchup in which is very favorable for us, even if we're kind of having a rough game, right? It's a game where we can take advantage of certain areas, use our size, tack in interior, try to slow down Steph and six-man Clay, right? Hopefully he's not dropping 35 on us off the bench. But even if you lose that game, we have the Spurs. Look, any team can win on any given night. Talked about that a million times. One of the reasons why I said I wouldn't be shocked the Lakers beat the Celtics without LeBron and AD. Spurs are playing with house money. They got nothing to lose. No one expects them to win. They have beaten us before, although that was without Anthony Davis, which is a big difference. But regardless, right? I like that we're playing the Spurs because it allows us to kind of work through and regain that momentum and get back to righting the ship before we got to go play, the Suns and the Clippers and stuff. Where it's like, if we were playing the Warriors, the Suns, and the Clippers, I'd be like, there's a real shot here that we could end up losing like 2 out of 3 of those games, or maybe even all 3 of those games if our momentum halts. Again, I don't fully expect it, at least with LeBron and AD. LeBron and AD, look, they're veterans. They've been there, done that. Not really worried about them, but the other guys, right? Like, how does Austin Reeves, he's been, as I mentioned, more consistent, been playing better. Does that continue? Does he get and shift there? But just in general, like, I'm the way that the Lakers are playing right now is what I've been screaming for them to play all season. Basketball isn't sticking. They're sharing the basketball. Constant movement and action. Guys aren't just standing around. You always see people cutting, right? LeBron, D'Lo, everybody's just really finding that open man. Rui, with his size and his physicality, being able to be a cutter, but he can also hit the outside three, which is huge, right? When Jared Vanderbilt was playing, he was huge in that role, right? As just the guy that the defense just completely forgets about, and boom, he's backdoor. LeBron's finding him, D'Lo's finding him, whomever. So I love the way that they're playing there. The defense side of the ball, I'd like to see them pick it up better. In their defense, 4 of our top defensive players are out, so it's not something that I'm super picky on. But as we get them back, as we move into this season, because it's what this video is about, like kind of the post All-Star break, and just general conversation, which I want to hear your thoughts also. But once we start getting pieces back, pick it up defense. We've been 11th in defense during this stretch, during this run, which is good. We've actually been number 1 in offense rating, I believe, which that'd be really good, right? If we keep that up. I said before the season began that I thought that this team could realistically be top 5 offense, top 5 defense. Right now, they're top 5 offense, number 1 offense, top offense, and they're 11th defense without their 4 best defensive guys. And last year we saw what happened when we were like 15th or 16th in defensive rating before the Jared Vanderbilt trade. We go and trade for Jared Vanderbilt and immediately become number 1, right? So once we start getting those guys back, I do expect us to kind of pick it up on the defense side. But if going into this last stretch, if we can move in at least top 10 in both, at least maintain some level of top 10 offense, top 10 defense, where we were 26th in offense before this stretch, right? So we've really covered some ground here, which is good. And they have the pieces. That's what was so frustrating, were the pieces. And can they consistently put it together, right? I want to so badly say that the Lakers are back and they've turned it around. But it's one of those things like we have a 50 game or I guess 40 game sample size if you take out these last, or call it 35, right? We have a 35 game sample size of the Lakers being incredibly inconsistent, and the last like 15 games or whatever, they've been much more consistent. So I need to see that throughout the rest of February, getting into that brutal March schedule. We got to go, like I said, at least 15 wins. So you're talking in the next 26 games, we got to go at least 15-11. I'd like more than that. I'd like us to have no more than like single digit losses, right? Like if we could go 17-9, that would be great, right? I mean, we're 11-5 in our last 16 games. So if you translate that, if you can replicate that, right, that gets you through. So you got 10 games left. You would be what? You'd be 6-4, or I guess 7-3. Based on those numbers. So can they continue to do that? If they can, Lakers are going to be in good shape. All right, that'd be the equivalent of like 18 wins, which would put us at 48 wins. I thought that they'd be somewhere in the 48 to 50 range when I did my like predictions, which they technically can. I'm a little more on the side of like closer to 45, but if they can get over 45 wins, I believe, especially with tiebreakers over the Suns, over the who's the other team in front of us? The Suns, and I'm blanking on the other team. But we have tiebreakers over several teams is the point, which is good, right? We need to go beat Sacramento, right? We got a couple matchups against Sacramento. If we can get those wins, then now we can get the tiebreakers against them. That would be huge. It's the Pelicans. There we go. Sorry, I had to look it up. Doing this in real time. But yeah, so we have tiebreakers over the Pelicans and the Phoenix Suns, which is huge. So if we finish with the same record as them, we leapfrog over them. So that is very important. But look, I could talk for another 30 minutes about this. But my point is, and like kind of what, again, this is just kind of a conversation video, but it's more so pertaining to like the Lakers' second half, right? What do they do towards this back half of the game? And if we keep playing the right way, we keep playing the way that we've been playing over this stretch. This last month, close February strong, right? Like I said, we got 5 games left. You got to win at least, I'd prefer 3 of them, 4 of them, right? If we could go 4-1, that'd be great, because that would put us, 7 games over 500 going into March. If you can win, or 8 Yeah, 7 games over 500. If we win all 5 of them, then that'd be 9 games. So just depends on how it goes, right? But look, if we do our job, we play the right way, we use our advantages as advantages. Darvin Ham also has been much better. Look, he's still been pretty rough, but he's been better than he was earlier on. Also, a lot of that is just the rotation's kind of been shortened. So how much of it is actually Darvin Ham? How much of it is just like he only has like 6 guys? But we'll see. See how it looks when everybody returns. But I'm pumped. And I fully believe in this team still. We're riding with them, right? That's who we got. Did I want some trades? Did I want, some upgrades in certain areas? Sure. But this team has talent. This team is good, right? And I know people look at, the in-season tournament, whatever. Everybody tried. Everyone tried to win that, and only one team won it. Right? If the in-season tournament was so easy and it was so nobody cared, then why was everyone trying and why did nobody else win it? Right? It's just nonsense, right? At the end of the day. Same thing with the bubble. Every player that was in the bubble talked about how it was the hardest thing they ever did for the game of basketball, right? But the couch warriors know more than the players that actually went through it. Stop. Right? Stop. But my point is, I trust this team. I believe in this team. They have the talent. They have the offense. They have the size. They have the versatility. The only team I really have a concern with is Denver. We handle business, right? Maybe somebody else beats Denver. That would be nice too. But even if they don't, even if we have to assume we're going to go through Denver, right? I believe we can beat Denver in a 7-game series. Look, if LeBron James and Anthony Davis weren't on one leg, that would have been a completely different series last year. I'm not saying we would have won it, but we don't get swept. If LeBron James didn't need foot surgery and Anthony Davis didn't have one leg, right? We would have at least won probably 2 games, if not more, right? I think it would have bare minimum gone to 6. I wouldn't have been shocked if it went to 7, right? And you get to a game 7, anything can happen. So I'll take my chance, especially LeBron if he's healthy. You don't think he could turn back the clock for 1 game? Of course he could. So we'll see. Time will tell. But anyway, as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think of the Lakers? How do you think about the stretch up to this point? What do you think and make of it post All-Star break? Are you excited for the break? Do you think that this is good? Like I said, I'm kind of in the middle, right? I think that this is great for this team. Kind of rest, recoup, get Spencer Dinwiddie locked in and involved. But I do have my concerns that this kind of halts momentum. So we'll see in that regard. Are you in the same boat as I am? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.